एवरी सिंगल डे बहुत सारे लोग मेरी वीडियोस देखते हैं अबाउट फ्रीलांसिंग, दे गेट रियली हाइप्ड अप अबाउट स्टार्टिंग एज अ फ्रीलांसर एंड वो स्टार्ट कर देते हैं विदाउट रियलाइजिंग अबाउट अ फ्यू बेसिक थिंग्स दैट दे शुड कीप इन माइंड before they start freelancing, and at the end of this they are not able to get a freelance client. If you relate to this, if this is something that you are struggling with, hear me out. In this video I want to talk about 15 things that you should keep in mind before you start freelancing. I have seen a lot of people starting freelancing and then quitting it because they were not aware about the problems, or they were not aware about the solutions to their problems as a freelancer. So make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. We will go through each of the points that you should keep in mind and what are my personal experiences about them as well. The first thing is going to be flexible. When you are a freelancer, you are not in that typical 9 to 5 job mentality. So you should learn to be flexible in the work times. ये मेरे साथ हुआ था कई बार. रिसेंटली आई गेव अ वीडियो टू एडिट टू अ पर्सन एंड ही बेसिकली जस्ट सेड कि आज तो संडे है, आज मैं काम नहीं करूंगा. एंड यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हेन यू आर इन योर वीक डेज यू आर नॉट वर्किंग 9 to 5, राइट? यू हैव अ फ्लेक्सिबल वर्क शेड्यूल. समटाइम्स यू आर वर्किंग इन द मॉर्निंग एंड यू आर डन बाय 11 o'clock and then you go chill for the rest of the day. So you need to keep this point in mind. Then when you're starting out, you might have to be flexible, right? Sometimes the client wants the video to be done in a single day, sometimes they want it to be done in a few days, and sometimes they want it right now itself. So you need to understand about the urgency, and then you need to be flexible around the schedule of the client when you are just getting started. This is really really important. बहुत सारे लोग they just get into this idea कि नहीं work life balance होना चाहिए, and that is great, definitely होना चाहिए, but you should also understand that if you want to get experience, that if you want to get clients in the first place, you need to hustle a little bit when you're just getting started. So that is what I would say. Make sure that you are a little bit flexible around the work schedule and the work timings in which you will be completing your freelance projects. So that's going to be point number 1. Point number 2, and that is going to be to communicate well with the client and understand the scope of work. ये एक ऐसी प्रॉब्लम है जो बहुत सारे लोग फ्रीलांसिंग में करते हैं. मैंने खुद ने करी थी. एंड रिसेंटली व्हाट हैपेंड इज दैट वी मेट अ क्लाइंट, वी गेव हिम अ स्कोप ऑफ वर्क कि हम लोग ये सब चीज़ें करने वाले हैं. एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंड इज दैट द क्लाइंट जस्ट सेड कि ठीक है इसे स्टार्ट कर दो, एंड देन दे जस्ट केप्ट गिविंग अस मोर एंड मोर वर्क कि ये भी काम कर लो, ये वाला काम भी करा दो, ये वाला काम भी करा दो. वी डिड इट बिकॉज यू वांटेड टू क्रिएट अ ग्रेट रिलेशनशिप विद द क्लाइंट, बट एसेंशियली व्हाट यू वुड वांट इज दैट to have a proper scope of work defined कि भाई ठीक है, I'll be editing 5 videos for you. Video length would be 10 minutes long. If the length exceeds from 10 minutes to let's say 15 minutes, then it would be an extra X amount of rupees or X amount of dollars that you would have to pay on top of the decided price. So this conversation with the client is super important. You cannot expect the client to ask you these things. You have to be proactive and you have to talk about all of these things before you start on the freelance project. Also make sure that you get to the price talk as early as possible in the conversation with the client. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि clients के साथ हम लोग बात कर रहे होते हैं, we try to talk about all of the different things, and at the end we get to the price topic and the client might just say ki nahi, this is out of our budget, we won't be able to work on these terms right now. So you have to be very much conscious about this. Bring this topic as early as possible. All right, now tip 3 is going to be to make sure that you get compliant. Make sure that you create an actual entity through which you do the business, right? You need to have one entity in the middle so that you can receive payments in the name of this entity, not in your own name. Don't do this mistake. I myself have done this and I have some tax issues that I have to clear up. But you have to make sure that you have a proper company through which you can take all the payments, through which you can do all the contracts. You can start with sole proprietorship, although it's best to become a private limited company when you get bigger as a freelancer. So that is going to be really important. But just keep this one thing in mind. Always try your best to create a legal structure and not just work as a single person, right? That is not a good thing. The taxes will kill you and you need to be aware about these things. When you start getting your freelance clients, a lot of times you would be talking to them on WhatsApp, but we all know how cluttered WhatsApp has become. I talk with a lot of clients, I end up losing information, I end up forgetting to follow up with them. It just feels like WhatsApp is not really made for work. That was until I started using Kubi, a Chrome extension that you can start using for free. With Kubi, you can actually separate your conversations for work, friends, and family, which is super helpful for me. You can set up reminders to follow up with people that are important to you. You can share your conversations without clicking a screenshot, and you can also take notes whenever you are talking with someone on WhatsApp. You can schedule an event with just a few clicks by connecting your Google Calendar with your Kubi account, and all of this is available for you for free. You can start using Kubi for free. Kubi has been of great help for me. I have been using it for a while now, and it helps me get things done faster. You can take a look at the link in the description to download, and now let's get back to the video. Point number 4 is going to be that you need to create a great public portfolio that represents exactly the best projects that you have done and what did you learn from those projects and what impact did you create for the clients that you were working for. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. बहुत सारे लोग प्रोजेक्ट्स या तो ठीक से दिखाते नहीं है, या तो अगर दिखाते हैं तो they don't write about the impact that it created for the client. So doing this is going to be super crucial for you. Just think about what projects you have done. Let's say you are a video editor. Talk about a video that you edited for a client, maybe for their YouTube channel, and you can write about how many views it got, what was the average view duration. So these metrics do matter a lot. It gives a signal to the freelance client that this person is serious, that this person is professional. So make sure that you create your own portfolio. You can use websites like you have Dribbble, you have Behance, you have many other places in which you can create your own portfolio, and you can just show it to them whenever they ask for it. That is going to be really important. Tip number 5 is going to be to know your limits. ये बहुत बार होता है with the freelancers that I have personally worked with. कई बार मैं उनको बोलता हूँ कि I have this video to be edited, and they basically just say ठीक है, I will get it done by tonight. They start working on it and they realize कि the work that they need to do will take them a lot longer. So in one case, what happened with me is that the person said that they will deliver by tonight, but they took 3 more days to finish that same exact video. And that is really frustrating. Make sure that you know your limits. Make sure that you know कि अगर ये 10 मिनट की वीडियो है और इसमें ये इफेक्ट्स डालने हैं, इस तरह से इसको बनाना है, तो इसको करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा exactly, so that you can give a proper estimate to the client. That is really important. If you try to deliver something late, that will severely impact your impression in the mind of the client. So that I have personally seen this happen. So I want you to not do the same mistake. Be aware of your limits and what your capabilities are as a freelancer. Tip number 6 is to keep yourself updated and do that as early as possible, as often as possible. In this whole industry, everything is moving really fast, and you need to make sure that you are learning the skills, you are learning the techniques that are valid right now in this month, in this year. Right? बहुत सारे examples हैं of people that are trying to learn old technologies or old ways to do something. They are not adapting themselves to latest workflows that are important for the businesses. कई बार people learn old softwares, whereas the clients are working on Asana or something that is a little bit more modern. So you have to be prepared about all of these things. Make sure that you keep upgrading yourself. Tip number 7 is to focus on a few services and do them extremely well. मैंने ये कई बार देखा है, बहुत सारे लोग ट्राई करते हैं to get into this field of freelancing, and they basically start their own agency, and they basically say that we are a all-purpose digital media agency, and that is a horrible way to get started, I would say personally, because when you're starting out and when you don't have a lot of experience, you might not be the best at doing all of the digital marketing services, which by the way is a huge thing to take over for a company, right? You would be handling social media, you'll be handling SEO, you'll be handling just a lot of things that you might not be prepared for. So make sure that you focus on a few services. That is what we have done at MarketUp, which is my business by the way. And वहाँ पे मैंने basically decide किया है कि we will only be focusing on YouTube marketing, and we will also focus on growing their YouTube channels, right? Video editing and that sort of stuff. So we have niched down to only YouTube marketing, and that is why I think we have a better chance at getting clients versus, let's say there is like a simple multi-purpose digital marketing agency that comes and tries to pitch these people. So you should always keep that thing in mind. All right, number 8. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and share this video with your friends if you are learning something from it as well. After that, the 8th point that I would say is to outsource the work that you are getting. कई बार क्या होता है, the client might give you some work and you might not have the time to finish it because you have some other work pending. So you need to learn the art of, first of all, not saying no to the client, but then also taking this and giving it to some other freelancer, right? So you should always be in contact with multiple other freelancers so that you can give them work whenever you are having some other work to do, right? So ये बहुत important होता है. That is what we have done at MarketUp as well. We have over 20 freelancers that are available. So whatever work needs to get done, we can simply just assign it to these editors, to these designers, and they can get it done ASAP. And that saves time for a lot of people, and that also gives opportunities to these other freelancers. Okay? So always make sure that you understand this one important thing, to outsource as much as possible. Let's say you are into video editing and they give you a video to edit or an ad to edit. You can simply outsource it to a friend of yours who's also a video editor. Tip number 9 is going to be to be patient as a freelancer in this industry. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि तुमको कई बार वेट करना पड़ता है to get your first freelance client, और कई बार ऐसा होता है कि there are months in which you would not even be getting a single freelance client and you have to survive because of that. In the beginning this happens, but once you get more and more referrals, once you get into a huge circle of freelancers, this does not happen as much. But yes, I totally understand this might happen with a lot of people, and that is totally fine. In the beginning that does happen, but make sure that you are trying to cold email a lot of clients. Make sure that you're trying to get referrals for a lot of different clients. तो ये सारी चीजें अगर तुम कर लोगे, then you will never have a supply shortage of these clients. You would always have a lot of leads that you can reach out to pitch them your services, right? This is what happens at MarketUp. MarketUp mein we have 2 to 3 businesses that are ready, that want our services, but because we are limited right now in the number of clients that we can serve, we actually put them on hold, and we have said that we'll be coming back to you in a couple of months. Getting to the 10th point, similar to what I was talking previously, make sure that you start networking with as many people as possible as a freelancer. Just go on to LinkedIn, just search for freelancers and see people around you who are doing something similar. Connect with them, ask about what they do, how are they getting their clients, what services do they provide, and if your services are complementary, then you can try to pitch your services together, and that is going to be a big win for you, because then you can ask for a lot more pay and both of you will be getting work, right? So that is an added benefit on top of that. So make sure that you are trying to network with as many people as possible as a freelancer. Just go on to places like Twitter, you have, that is a good example, or you just go to Instagram and you just search for freelancers, and you'll get a huge list of freelancers available who are sharing their knowledge, so you can connect with them and you can learn about how they are getting their freelance clients. 11th point would be to focus on relationship building with your clients. This is really important. This happened with me recently. What happened is that we started onboarding a client, and then this client loved our services, and then they basically said that we have 2 other people who are working with me and they also want their YouTube channels to be managed, but we were not having the capacity, so we had to say no at the point. But this is definitely a possibility for you, so make sure that you understand how you can build relationships first of all with the client, and you can also get other clients because of these clients. इसको कहते हैं Net Promoter Score, NPS. Make sure that you keep your NPS high by over-delivering to your clients. 12th point is going to be to ask for an upfront payment. If you are working for a client for the very first time, try to ask for an upfront payment as much as possible. If they are not able to give a 50%, at least ask for a 30% upfront payment and only then work with them. ये कई बार हुआ है with the people that I have talked with. They start freelancing, they start working on a project, and जब वो finish हो जाता है, then the client basically first of all doesn't reply back, doesn't pay, or in other cases they just basically say कि बाद में pay करूँगा, या फिर wait for 30 days or something like that. You have delivered the work right now. You deserve to be getting paid right at this second, right? That's basically how this works. Make sure that you ask for an upfront payment. That shows how serious the client is, and that is really important. Point number 13 is going to be to organize your life. That basically just means that when you are a freelancer working with multiple clients, you need to keep track of your invoices. You need to keep track of all of the softwares that you are working with. You need to keep track of all the different passwords. All of these things, it might seem obvious right now, but when you start working, this really turns into a huge pile of data that you need to carry around. You can have things like invoices, contracts, or payment deadlines. Whatever documents you have with your clients, try to keep that organized at a single place so that you can get them and you don't lose them because of how excited you are to work on the project. 14th is going to be to productize your services. We have already talked about this one specific topic in a separate video in which we talk about how can you sell productized services. So go watch that video, link will be in the description, and with that you will learn about exactly how can you convert your service into a product and how can you automate that product so that it generates you some sort of a passive income. Not 100% obviously, but it can be automated so that you can focus on building other businesses right now. Okay, so you should totally take a look at Pieter Levels. He is a really interesting entrepreneur. He has built some really interesting businesses like Nomad List and remoteok.com. So you can look at exactly how he did it. He basically automated the entire process, and right now he doesn't have to work 100% of his time onto building these businesses that he has already built and automated. So take a look at him and the work he has done. He has a Twitter handle that you can look at if you're interested. But more importantly is this idea of productizing your service. The last and the 15th tip is to work on a project basis and not on the per hour basis. What this means is that you would, whenever you get a video to edit, you basically just say that my rate is just, let's say $50 for this particular video. You don't just say that my rate is $20 per hour. Don't do that, because there is a really interesting video on the Future YouTube channel in which they talk about why it is better for you to charge on the per project basis. You should highly take a look at that video if you are interested to learn more about this concept. But the idea here is that when you work on the per hour basis, if you are a good designer, if you are a good developer, you need to spend more time on building something if you want to get paid more. But your time is also valuable if you are highly skilled. So it is important that you charge on the per project basis. So just keep this one thing in mind. But that is all I have for you today. These were the 15 tips for freelancers who are just getting started. If you are new into this field, make sure that you learn about all of these 15 tips. All the notes are in the description, so you can look at that if you're interested. But make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this video with your friends. Also take a look at Kubi Chrome extension, and you can download it with the link in the description. That's all I have for you today. You can take a look at my Instagram as well as Twitter, and I will see you all in the next video. You can also say I watched till the very end if you're still watching this video in the comment section. Thank you. Bye-bye.